Good afternoon, everyone. So today here I am with my class number 13 on English, and today we will be discussing about what we had done in the last class of mine. So as you all know that we had started the next unit from your literature text, that is Oru Manushyan. Now this is the title of the story that we have been doing, and the author of the short story Vaikom Muhammad Basheer. So as I have already told you that he is a Malayali writer, and most of his works are written in such a way that they definitely depict the social elements of the common people's problems, their joys and their sorrows. So I'm just trying to recapitulate what are the things that I had done in my last class. So to begin with, we had just discussed about, or we have just started discussing about a story that is Oru Manushyan. So even the title is also kept on the original language that the text or the short story that was written, isn't it? So Oru Manushyan, one man. So we are just going to read here about a description about a person who was, or let us see what exactly the Manushyan, that is the man, is supposed to do, and what exactly is he going to do. So before I could continue where I had stopped, so a little discussion on what exactly we have discussed so far. We discussed about the author. We told read something more about what author is he is, what type of author is he, what are the awards that he has won, and we are coming back to the title of the chapter or the short story Oru Manushyan, which is remained or which has been kept as it is, unlike the other title, rather than translating version even with the language, right? So after that I told you about the narration here. When the story opens, the narration will be in the form of second person. You is used. You have noticed that, isn't it? Then after some 2 paragraphs of the description in the lesson, we see that the narration keeps changing from second to the first person, and you should understand what is the difference between the second person narration and the first person narration. Now, second person narration is how he started off with, you have no definite plans. Isn't it? So that's what it was saying there. And before that, the pre-reading activity, forgot, what was the pre-reading activity of the lesson that we thought? Have you come across anybody who is supposed to be a good human being? And if you find any good human being, what all the qualities, that you find in a person, one who is helpful for the needy people or something. That's what we had discussed about the pre-reading activity of the lesson. Then we straight away came, before that we also saw the picture of that is given in the text about what exactly can it be, and then we started off discussing on those 2 particular things, there is a man, one who is wandering. He has come all the way from his hometown to this particular place, and he knows only 2 languages that he can speak. The one is the English, the other one is the Hindustani, nothing but Hindi. But at a place where the author is, at a place where he has come, there neither of the languages are spoken by the people. Why? We will look into it in the later part of the lesson. Okay, now you find yourself caught in a dangerous situation. A total stranger rescues you. Okay, so as he keeps on discussing about one of the facts of his life, that is author's life, okay, he tells us that a man, one who is unknown, will come to rescue you with a problem that you were facing. Even after years pass by, you will sometimes remember the man and wonder why he did so. Why did he help me? You were in a situation where a man has helped you who was totally a stranger, and years after that also you still keep on remembering sometimes, why did he help me? Because you are in a place where you are considered as a utter stranger to that particular place, because you don't belong to that particular place. Okay, then we saw that how author has shifted from you to I here, and then he starts saying about that particular thing. Okay, I am now narrating an experience which I had. I have some vague notions about human beings, including myself. There are around me good men, thieves, those who suffer from various infectious diseases and from madness. One has to live carefully. The world has more evil than good. We realize this only after we get hurt. So now this is the paragraph when he starts actually the the problem that he actually faces. Before that, what he tells us here is that he keeps on relating it to his own self about one of the experiences he is going to share with us. Okay, so he gives us an idea about like how many or what kind of the people do you find with respect to your surroundings. There may be a person one who's mad, or there may be a person who's thief. Okay, there may be a person one who's infectious. I also told you about this in the last class of mine, where nowadays we should be very careful because we do not know who is infected, isn't it? In the similar way, when author is trying to tell us about the experiences of his life, one of the experiences of his life, he tells us about the different type of the people that are living with us. Okay, the world has more evil than good. This is a stressing point that he tells us, and then we realize this only after we get hurt. So let us see what exactly has happened. Let me record here an incident which was perhaps quite insignificant. It was, though it was not significant, but it is one of the significant factors that had happened in my life which I want to share. And that's what he starts, and then he tells about the place where he has come from. Okay, now it was a quite big city in the valley of the mountains, some 1500 miles from home. That is, the author has come away all the way from his place, and the distance was around 1500 miles, which is around 1800 kilometers or something. And it was a very big city. It was lying maybe near to the mountain valleys. The people who are there in that place were very cruel. That is, the people who were there in that particular city where the author has come, they are supposed to be very cruel. And he tells us about some of the important facts what these people do there, and he tells us, like, murder, robbery, pickpocketing, these were the daily occurrences in the place where I was. And then he tells, by tradition the people were professional soldiers as well. Okay, not only you can find only thieves or robbers or murderers in that place, but also you find a lot of people who have joined the army or the soldier. They have become the professional soldiers. Some of them went to distant places and lent out money on interest. Many others served as watchmen in banks, mills, and large commercial established in big cities. Money was highly valued by them. For money they would do anything, even they are ready to commit the murder. Now this paragraph is the description about the people of the place where the author has come to. Okay, so remember these things. The place is somewhere around 1500 miles away from his home. Okay, and he is a total stranger, and he regards that the people there in that particular village, the city, big city, excuse me, are ready to do anything for the sake of money. I have found people who are robbers, who are thieves, who are even murderers, but at the same time I have seen the other face of the people who are living there. That is, people are also professional soldiers. So most of them have joined the army as the professional soldiers. On the other hand, some of the people have also joined or they have just taken up the work as probably a watchman or a security guard in some of the big establishments in the big other cities. But he concludes it by saying that the people in that big city are ready to do anything for money. They don't even inhibit, or they don't even hesitate even committing a murder for the sake of getting money or something. So this is the place where I had stopped in the last class, right? So I hope you have understood, or you have come on to the touch with what exactly was discussed in the last class, since there was a gap of some 2-3 days or so. Okay, so please watch all these videos, because I have seen that in my last class, the Manushyan first class, most of you have not watched it yet, or I don't know what's the reason. But if you have to have a continuity, you will definitely have to watch the video and get it connected to the text what is being discussed. Okay, so we had discussed at a point where the author has come out, and let us see what exactly is the experience is he going to share with us with respect to this big city that he is talking about. Clear? Okay, now I. Who's I here? I is obviously, as I told you, the first person narration, nothing but the author himself. It could be Vaikom Muhammad Basheer only. Okay, so that's why he uses the first person narration, that is I. So he says, I stayed in that city in a very small, dingy, very dark. There is no light, proper light. Okay, so dingy room on a dirty street. Okay, now he gives his or starts narrating us the experience of his own, and that experience is that he was staying in that big city in a very dingy and a small room, but it was very much dirt. I mean, the street was very dirty. That's what he says. Then I carried on a profession there. I was doing something. I was having a job. I was a professional. And what professional was that? He was teaching English to some migrant laborers from 9:30 till 11 in the night. I hope you can follow. Now, what is the profession of the author there? The author's profession was to teach English to the laborers. Laborers, you understand who they are. Okay. So he used to start teaching them at 9:30 in the morning, and it would go up to 11 in the night. I taught them. Look at the spelling, T-A-U-G-H-T. Okay, it is not think and thought. It is teach and taught. T-E-A-C-H, teach. This is a verb. When it changes to past tense, it becomes what? It becomes taught. T-A-U-G-H-T. Okay, so I taught them to write addresses in English. Whom is he teaching English? He is teaching English to the migrant laborers. That is the people who have come to that place for the sake of doing work, and he has started teaching them English. Okay, and his work has been described like, he works from 9:30 in the morning till 11 o'clock in the night, and his job was to make them write addresses in English. Any idea why am I talking about migrant laborers? Obviously, they are also new, or they are also not the people belong to the same city, but they have come from the different places. In those days, in 1920s or maybe in the pre-independent era or something, we did not have mobile phones. We didn't have WhatsApp, or we didn't have any other social media as we have now, isn't it? So in those days, we definitely had to bend upon, or we definitely had to depend upon what? Post, India Post, isn't it? We definitely had to depend upon writing the letters from one place to the other. So what was he doing? He was doing them, or he was teaching them English. At the same time, he was making them to write addresses in English. Learning to write an address in English was considered great education there. In that particular city, learning to write the addresses in English was supposed to be the greatest form of education there. Why? They were paid anything between 1 anna and 4 annas for writing an address. Okay, you must have seen people who write addresses at the post office. They were paid anything between 1 anna and 4 annas for writing an address. Why? In those days, education was not up to the mark. That is, there was a lot of illiteracy amongst the laborers, especially in those days, or in that time when we did not even have the rupees or something. Rupee was divided into annas or something like that. I'm talking to you something about the pre-independent era of India. All right. So this man was teaching them how to write the addresses in English on the envelopes. You must have seen people who write addresses at the post office, and when they write the addresses on the post office, they used to charge around 1 anna to 4 annas for writing an address. So in order to avoid this, author Vaikom Muhammad Basheer has taken up a profession of teaching them English. Not only English, at the same time he used to actually make them write their addresses in English so that they can write it themselves and they can post it to whichever the place they want to send, because teaching how to write addresses on the envelopes was considered to be the greatest education in that big city I was living. Getting all of you? You're following it? Alright, then go on to the next paragraph and let's see what exactly Vaikom Muhammad Basheer has something to tell us. He starts and he says, I taught the skill of writing addresses to people in order to escape the same fate myself and see if I could save some money. My job there was to teach them English, not only English, apart from English, what I used to do is that I was teaching them how they can write the addresses in English by themselves, okay, by themselves, rather than giving it to someone by paying some money. That is what you got to understand here, all right. So, in those, I taught the skill of writing addresses to the people in order to escape the same fate myself, in order to escape the fate like myself, because even I am also a stranger there, unlike the laborers. So, myself, and see if I could save some money. Then in those days I would sleep all day and wake up at 4 in the evening. This was to save the expense of drinking my morning tea or eating the noon meal. Look at it, how the author is trying to tell us. They just wanted to save the money, and in order to save the money, what author used to do was that he used to sleep for a longer time, in order to avoid the money that can be spent on a meal or maybe on drinking some tea early in the morning or something. So as I said, his job was from 9:30 to 11 o'clock in the night. He used to wake up late for night, be awake late for night rather than getting up early in the morning, and that was only because in order to save some money. Getting? So, what we see here is that in those days I would sleep all day and wake up at 4 in the evening. This was to save the expenses of my drinking morning tea or eating a noon meal or something. In order to save the money, what I used to do was I used to sleep for longer hours up to 4 o'clock in the morning. Are you getting? Why is he doing so? He is doing so because he just wants to earn the money and he wants to just save the money. And that is why, because of living up of his profession, that is teaching English, the other thing that he has taken to teach them was to teach the addresses, to write it on the envelopes so that he could save or so that he could get some money. Hope you are following it. Yes? Alright. Then one day I got up at 4 p.m. as usual, as it has been discussed in the earlier paragraph. I finished my daily course work, CHORES, course is nothing but work, and stepped out for my tea and a meal. So one day I woke up at around 4 p.m. okay, and then I wanted to have my tea and meal, so I just came out of it. You must understand that I was dressed in a suit. That is, being a professional English teacher, the author Vaikom Muhammad Basheer woke up at around 4 o'clock in the evening and he stepped out of his house in order to have something, in order to eat something, and nevertheless he was actually dressed himself in a very gorgeous way. That is, he was actually in a suit, and I had a wallet in my coat pocket. So he had kept a wallet, the money that you keep it, right? So he had kept a wallet in one of the pockets of his coat. That is something that you wear. I had 14 rupees in it. Who? Author had 14 rupees in the wallet. My life's savings at that time. Look at that. 14 rupees of money was author's life saving money, and he had kept it in a wallet and he had kept it on the pocket of his coat. Following it? Yes? Alright. So 14 rupees was his lifetime saving amount in that particular big city where he was living in, and he had kept it in one of the pockets of his coat and he has come out. Okay, by now you can have in your mind like what might happen or what is going to happen in the earlier part or in the later part of the story, right? So he has come out, he woke up around at 4 o'clock or something, and he had lifetime saving amount of 14 rupees in his wallet, and he has stepped out in order to eat something. All right, yes. I entered a crowded restaurant. Who? Vaikom Muhammad Basheer entered a crowded restaurant. So go back to the picture that is there in the starting of the lesson. Was it a restaurant? Maybe yes, right? Okay. Now, I entered a crowded restaurant. I ate a full meal consisting of chapatis and meat curry. I drank tea as well. The bill came to 11 annas. So no need to describe here, you can understand. So what exactly did he come out for? He came out in order to have his food, and he entered a crowded restaurant. That is very important. Crowded restaurant. And before that, we all should know that what was he having? He has dressed himself in a suit, and he had kept his lifetime saving amount of around 14 rupees, and he had kept it in the wallet, and that wallet was in the coat, on the overcoat that he was wearing, and he has entered crowded. Let me repeat that. He entered a crowded restaurant and had his full meal. He ate all those things, whatever has been told there, and the final bill came up to 11 annas. Okay, 100 annas was equal to 1 rupee at that time, right? So he just paid, or he just, when he saw the bill, it was 11 annas after having his meal and also the tea. So let us see what happens. I put my hand in my coat pocket to pay it. So as usual, I just wanted to give, or I just wanted to take out the wallet, and I just wanted to give it to the owner of the hotel to pay my bill. What was the bill? It was 11 annas. So he wanted to pay it. So he just put his hand on in the pocket to take out the wallet. I began sweating profusely. That is author himself, started sweating, you know what it is, profusely. That is, he was continuously sweating like anything, because profusely is nothing but continuity. Okay, so he started sweating profusely, and almost digested in an instant all that I had eaten. When I realized something, I felt as if I have digested everything just I ate in a while. So, what is it? You can guess, right? So, profusely and almost digested in an instant all that I had eaten. The reason was my wallet was not there. So, why do you think that author started sweating profusely, and why do you think that the author immediately digested the whole food, whatever he had eaten just a while ago? Because the reason for that was he was not able to find the wallet that he had kept in the pocket of his coat. The wallet was not there. Okay, the wallet wasn't there. I said, someone has picked my pocket and taken away my wallet. So immediately I started yelling, immediately I started shouting, immediately I started screaming that someone has pickpocketed, someone has taken off my wallet from my pocket. That is what I had to immediately say when I didn't find the wallet. Then he keeps on continuing, and he tells that it was a very busy restaurant. The place where he had come to food, it was a very busy restaurant. The owner gave a loud guffaw, startling everyone around. He caught me by the lapels of my coat and shaking me cried, "This trick won't work here. Put the money down and go, or else I will gouge your eyes out." I told you, the people in that particular big city were ready to do anything for the sake of money. Remember that. And now the author himself is in a condition where he is supposed to pay the bill for the food that he has eaten, right? So he has eaten the food in such a way that the author just wanted to pay the bill, and he took out the wallet, or he just wanted to search in his coat pocket to take out the wallet, But he was surprised, he was amazed because the wallet was not there. Okay, when he found that the wallet was not there, he started sweating profusely, and at the moment he felt as if the whole food that he had eaten is digested completely because he is not able to find the wallet. So he immediately cried, or that is started shouting, that someone has taken my wallet, I can't find the wallet in my pocket. And what was the response of the restaurant owner? It was a busy restaurant, he keeps on telling that, and the owner gave a loud guffaw. Guffaw, that is, he started screaming, shouting and startling everyone. He screamed in such a high note that the people around in the restaurant started looking at what happened to this man. He caught me by the lapels. Lapels? This one. Okay. So he just caught him on the lapels of his coat and he started shaking him. That is, he started shaking him and he told him that this trick, that is whatever, he is assuming that he is making some kind of a trick in order to overcome paying the money or something. So that's why the owner of the restaurant, he started shaking him and he told him that this trick, that is the trick of what you are using in order to pay off my bills or something, will not work in this restaurant. Put the money down and go. You will not be allowed to go out of the restaurant if you do not pay the money. So the owner of the restaurant is very adamant. He is very angry. He is very, what can I say, any other word? So he is very blasphemous in such a way that he doesn't, or he will not allow the author to go out of his restaurant until he pays him off. Isn't it? So put the money down and go, or else I will gouge your eyes. Gouge, take it out. So he is just making him scared with the voice, with the noise that he could make so louder that the author has already started sweating profusely because he has not able to find the wallet. But on the other hand, what you need to understand here is that for the restaurant owner, it is only 11 annas that has to be paid to him. But on the other hand, if you see that it was almost the lifetime savings amount of this author or of this speaker here in this lesson, isn't it? So what was it? It was 14. How much money did he have in his wallet? It was 14 rupees, and that 14 rupees was supposed to be considered as the life's savings till now. So obviously he had his own wanderings in such a way that he was just thinking, what has happened? Isn't it? So he just thinks, the Vaikom Muhammad Basheer just thinks, what has happened to my wallet, who has taken? So he was in that agitation, but on the other hand, he had to give one or the other kind of answer to the restaurant owner, isn't it? So he has to pay him at any cost. He has to pay him at any cost because the bill came to up to 11 annas for whatever the food that he ate. So what we have to do here is that the author is now in a situation where he cannot find the wallet which has his 14 rupees of life saving amount. On the other hand, he doesn't even have a single anna to pay to the restaurant owner. But on the other hand, the restaurant owner is so adamant, okay, he is so very strict on this stranger, so to say the author of the chapter, that he will not allow him at any cost to go out of this restaurant until he pays him off the money. So when he comes to know, the author was really in such a dilemma, what should he do next? He was not able to understand what exactly has happened. He doesn't know what has happened. He doesn't know what he is going to do. So he is in a fix now. That is, the author is in a fix now, as supposed to say, like, what you will do or what he will do, because the restaurant owner has already scared him by saying that if he doesn't give the money, he will take his eyes out or whatever, that he will not allow at any cost to go out of this restaurant until he pays him off the due that that he has or something. So I will stop here and we will discuss in the next class about what further will happen between the restaurant owner and what will happen to the author Vaikom Muhammad Basheer with the title Oru Manushyan here. So we will come to know who is this Oru Manushyan in the next class of mine, and let's see what best we can do in the form of discussing it further with author, what he's going to see. Okay, so thank you very much, and I shall meet you in the next class of mine with the continuation of this lesson, Oru Manushyan. Alright, so thank you and meet you in the next class.